Got a wee party of cows following me this morning. Morning, Holly! So I'm just in the field of rape at the moment. Big breakdown. That's it. Wow. It's the drill working there. Sunflowers are really getting going now. Look at the size of them. They'll probably grow about a centimetre a day, I wouldn't be surprised. They're really starting to thicken up. So you can see the damn crows, 3 of them, sitting there munching my sunflowers. We saved Spud and now he's just a wee bandit. Escapes left, right and centre. The other lambs don't bother, they just stay in the pen. But no, Spud goes on an adventure every day. Goodbye, Spud. There's a hare over there in the tatties. Tatties are thickening up, looking good. Coos are surrounding me. I've just given them all a wee bit of food. They're all quite peckish. You can see the grass just, it's not loads of grass. Could do with a wee dose of nitrogen. You don't really, well you do now, but for a few years there wasn't many hares about. You didn't see a lot, but recently, the last kind of year, 2 years, the gamekeeper and the joiner there cleared out a lot of foxes on the estate and surrounding areas, so 400 odd I think. So that's really helped, allowed the hares to actually survive rather than get mauled by the foxes. The likes of foxes and deer and whatnot, you'll never get rid of them all, but you just control them so they're not kind of overriding everything else. So there's too many foxes and then there was no hares, but now we've thinned out the foxes. Well, we haven't, but Amy has, and now there's a lot more hares and there's still a lot of foxes, so balance it all up. Ordered some steel last night, not last night, a few days ago, so it's just arrived now. It's a lorry there, so I'll just take that off. There's a few projects that need steel and we're running out of steel, so a wee top up. Wee bit of steel, not a whole lot. The lorry there, he's got quite a bit of steel there, and this must be his first drop of the morning. Comes from Stirling, which is about 40 minutes away from here. So here we go, right, 7.5 metres through a 4 metre door. Here we go, what's the chances? I'll just check there's nothing behind that door, hold on. Just as well I checked, I'd be putting a hole in that tank. Right, that was a squeeze. I'm currently not in line with the door, but it steals through the door. But I should be able to just sneak around. Slightly tight on that door. But we're in. So I bought a few lengths of 50mm box with a 3mm wall. That's going to be made into a grain pusher. We've already got some of that steel, but there wasn't enough. Well, there maybe was enough to do the whole thing, but then we'd be out of steel. So ordered that grain pusher. There's some 30mm box section with a 3mm wall. That's just because we ran out of that, and it's really handy, as well as the 2mm box in there. It's really handy to have. It's a lot easier working with clean, fresh, new steel that you know is dead straight. It's not covered in rust, covered in whatever, to make things, and they look a lot nicer, and they come up a lot nicer and probably last a lot longer than just using recycled steel, which we still use for odd jobs that aren't so important. But anyway, need to make a big old grain pusher. I'm going to make it 7.5 metres long, because that's the size the stock comes in, makes it easy, and we need it for that big new shed. So bit of a project, don't know when I'll start that, but the steel's there for it. So on our dung grid, you can see all the points are all squint and bent and broken, so they're not very hard. They're obviously not, they're not like these tines you get, like bale tines on a stone grate. They're nothing like the tines on a stone grate, which are really quite hard, and they don't bend out of shape, kind of spring back. So these ones are all kind of, they're obviously not very hard and it's pretty soft, so they've bent all out of shape. So I'm going to put a pole, see if I can get a piece of steel wide enough to put over the top, and it comes out quite a way, and then I can just square them up off a stone or off the ground or something like that, because Dad was wanting to take it to the blacksmith, but I think it's a bit of a waste of money, to be honest, because they're just going to bend again. But also I think they've been bent that many times that if we hardened them, there'd be kind of fractures in them already, and they just start to snap and break properly.
Annual rainfall on this farm, 850 mil, thereabouts. Clifford Kane was bang on.
Kev's just heading out there. He's going to go put the fert spreader on and put a bit of nitrogen on the grass that's in the cattle field, the cow field, just to kind of give it a boost. They've cut it pretty low. They'll also be getting a test of the new GPS system, make sure it's all up and working fine. I've somewhat straightened the tines on this. They're a lot better than they were. They're not bang straight, that's for sure. Just giving it a wee grease as well. Put this away. Doesn't actually get used that often. Just when we've got dung along here, which is only just the last year with the cows. We've not had cattle along here for a while. Shed's looking great with the roof on it now. All that's left to do is clad that edge, and that's basically how it'll look. There's still a lot of fine details to do, but in terms of look, there'll be it's a navy blue cladding in between the top sheets and the concrete. That'll finish it off. I'll just show you the rape just now, because you can see all the pods very clearly now. They're seeding up fine. They won't be too long until this gets combined. Will be just about a month and a half, probably less, till this gets combined. This is a bad corner of the field, but anyway, you can see them growing. So basically grow like that, loads of pods, and then by the time the combine comes, these will be crispy and hard because they'll be sprayed off, they'll be dead, and then these shells will get battered off by the combine, and then you'll be able to see, you'll get the seed inside. So there you go, you can see the seeds inside. So they'll be black in colour when they ripen up and it's all ready to go. Similar to peas, but on a much smaller scale. So the combine goes through, takes off that shell, and leaves just those small wee seeds that you see inside. See wee round bits. There you go. And they're full of oil, and that's the oil that's extracted and used, and the byproduct is quite a high protein source as well. So that's what this whole field is full of. So I'm back with the pigs, back at the water trough, because this little piggy decided to kick the hell out of the water trough and break it. So they've sheared that plastic fitting that went into the brass fitting there, and the sheared bit is stuck in the brass bit. So that plastic piece needs to get out of that brass fitting first. I've been and collected some new brass fitments, so I shouldn't be able to break them. So strong, just forceful with everything, so unless it's bomb-proof, they will break it. So I'm a plumber today. He seems content, it's working now. Hopefully they won't. Last time it was a plastic fitting in there and they just broke it, so brass fitting should withstand. Well, hopefully the plastic above it doesn't break, but we've got other ones like that and it seemed to be fine, so bandits. Just had a wee puncture in the farm discovery, so plugged it. So what you do, get these wee plugs, put them through that gap through there, push that into the hole, and pull it out, and you get left with a plug in there, and that's it sealed now. Yeah, also it was quite a wee tiny wee hole, so drilled it out so I could actually get that in. Seems to have worked. Can't hear any hissing. Tell you in the morning. Wind's picked up a wee bit today, so it's about lunchtime and the guys have eased off on doing the roof on the shed, and they're now moving to kind of doing the panels around the bottom, just because it's quite hard when they're up there with a big sheet carrying it, and they're quite windy, might take it. Guys, just been spreading fert on this field here where the cows are. I was just away checking, seeing how he's getting on with that new GPS, and it's getting on fine, so good. It'll really tell a tale when he goes to places where we didn't get signal before, or the signal was patchy. That'll be the telltale sign, so he's going to go on his way home, try a few bits and just check what it's like. It's off there, he's just got 20 kilo left. 10 seconds, it'll be gone. It's Kev done in this field, so hopefully that grass will get growing and the cows will have plenty. Fert spreader's looking good. He's going to go and clean it. Shed's really starting to look the part now. All that's left visually is a strip along there of sheeting. That'll be a navy blue colour. Big old spool of wire that's arrived, 50 amp 3 phase, and this will be for the lights in the new shed, the roller door, and eventually we'll be putting in a conveyor system, so we need a heavy supply to do that. The supply currently is basically on that corner of the shed, so we need to span this shed, dig a trench across to the new shed, then span the new shed as well. So that's why that's arrived. Sparky's coming tomorrow to fit all that. That's the roof of the shed. Done. Complete. Still got this to go in, but as for the fibre cement sheets, they are tip-top, done. I tell a lie, they've got one wee strip to do on this end that'll only be about a foot wide, and they need to cut all them. But no, that can't be right. They wouldn't. Would they design it like that? Leaving a strip? Surely they do it all the width of the. I don't know. Find out tomorrow. Question of the day: concrete panels, and that are the walling in the new shed. What are these wee dots? There's quite a few of them. I don't know all of them.